welcome to Bring Your Own Lawn Chair, Jackson. This podcast is just kind of new and, well, it's old, but it's like I'm revamping it, and I've been the idea of recently interviewing people I've met across times in my life in the world. I just interviewed my friend Emily, and so she's doing well, but just building my portfolio, and I'm thankful to have you on, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, great to be here. I'm honored to be a guest. I love you bringing this thing back to life.
Yeah, thanks, man. I remember we used to live together in the
Mhm.
annex, and I remember for one of my projects, for my school project, I called your dad because he works at a radio station in North Dakota.
Yeah,
Devil's Lake,
yes, it is.
Devil's
That's the
Lake.
one.
You're there right now?
No, I've moved from there now.
Oh, really? Well, we'll get
Yep.
into it. Wow, that's I for some reason I thought you were there right now, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm spreading my wings.
There you go. But before we get like that deep, that far down, um, we'll start off with our origin story, I guess, of each other and becoming friends and to where we are today. But
Yeah.
I guess my first question would be, what was your absolute first memory of us meeting or moving into camp together?
Well, I remember meeting you summer of 2022, I believe, and you actually lived with Jake at the time,
Oh yeah,
and you guys were in Oh, I mean, we called it the frat house because there was like 9 guys in that one house.
yeah.
And yeah, I remember you guys being in there, and that was a sweet little escape. And it was just nice. You could go in there. You guys had some AC, I think, or no, you
Oh
guys had like
yeah,
5 fans or
we
something.
had AC. That was
Yeah,
the
dude,
craziest part. But yes.
that was a hot commodity right there.
Yeah, my bedroom, me and Jake's bedroom in the back, and which was also what was it? Somebody else's bedroom at the time, but they didn't sleep in there that often. But um, yeah, dude, the AC in that back room didn't work, so it was always pretty toasty back there. But in that
Yeah.
living room was everybody was in that living room.
Oh yeah.
We had that thing packed. It was pretty much why it was a frat house.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff.
My first memory with you was, I think it was like kind of by HP, the big building, and the where we stored all the cardboard under the staircase. You were introduced. I think you introduced me. You had introduced yourself to me as the like sports, sports guy.
Sports sports coordinator.
Yeah, exactly, the sports coordinator.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how I was like, oh, nice to meet you, man. And then we were like, I don't know what we were doing. We were like, I think it was like s'mores or something.
Yeah, that was probably early on too in the summer and just getting to know each other.
Yeah, and that it was a good summer. I met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of people that I don't think I've spoken to since that summer. There's probably a handful of people I haven't kept in touch with, like Wheeler. I feel like I haven't spoke to Wheeler since then.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
There's just so
I
many people.
yeah, he came. I saw him in 2023, I think. He volunteered at the camp again.
Yeah,
But yeah, I haven't really kept in touch with him, but other people, I mean, here and there I'll send him a text or call him or something, but
yeah.
yeah.
Um, how about the annex days, dude? So we did the summer, and we had a hoot, and then we both were looking to stick around at camp, and
hmm
the opportunities were slim, but we landed. We both were able to get a position in the, what would you call it, Nui Tours department,
Newey Tours Department. Yeah.
and we moved into the annex. Right, you were me, you, and Jake, and
Uh, I
well,
wasn't in there when Jake was. I came in like the second season of that.
where were you? Where were you at?
I was in the Mackay cabins
Oh
with Matt.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That okay. Up until that December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been about there because I think Reese moved in first, and then I came after.
Who was uh who was your roommate in the Mackay cabins?
Matt.
Matt. I don't
Yeah.
think I've spoke to Matt either in a long time. I don't know what Matt's been up to. You talk to Matt?
Yeah, he called me not too long ago. I mean, well, kind of a while ago. Um, he- as of that moment, he's in California, I think too.
Oh, really?
He's working at some camp. Was it the Catalina Islands? It might be.
Dude, no way. I can from my backyard that I'm sitting in right now, I can see Catalina Island.
He might still be there because that
Really?
was relatively recently.
Yeah? That's
And
wild.
yeah, he's doing some kind of ropes director thing there.
Taylor used to work there from before she came to Camp Erdman.
Really?
Yeah, I wonder if. And I guess Taylor worked the same summer as Matt, so they know each other. So I
Dang.
wonder if
Yeah,
that has a connection at all to them. I don't know. Maybe.
maybe. Because
Maybe.
Kelsey also worked there too.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be talking to Kelsey here in a week or something.
Oh yeah, you called her. I haven't spoken with her in a long time.
Me neither. That's yeah. So I reached out to her. I was like, I got to talk to you. You know. But yeah, I'm trying to rekindle with a lot of people, um, but some people like this conversation alone is opening my eyes to like maybe I should reach out to some other people that like Matt or
Right.
or just anybody.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so then you were in the Mackay cabins with Matt, and Matt moved into Hall A B. I do remember that, and then he lived
Mhm.
with Drewski, and then you moved in
Yeah.
with us in the annex.
Yep. The start of an era right there
Yeah, the start of an era. Were you there with the bunk couch?
with the bunk couch. Ooh, I was not living there, but I
You were.
saw that.
Yeah, Cam's bright idea.
Dude, that was a brainchild and a half for sure.
Everybody was laughing at it, and he's like, "I'll sleep on the." He's like, "I'll sleep on the couch part if and Reese can take the, the top." And Reese
Yeah.
got there, and he's like, "No."
Yeah. Dude, he had that thing. He had a top bunk frame all the way down to the ground, screwed into the arms of a couch.
Yeah, dude.
And it was like a what are those things called? Like a pull-out couch. So it's a sleeper.
Oh yeah, it did
And
pull out.
yeah, and it's like it was like probably a queen size mattress too. Like granted it's not good, but I'm like, you just wanted the bigger mattress. And then
Yeah.
dude, I remember Reese hopped up on that top bunk and one corner just completely sank down. And then he just hopped right off. He's like, I can't sleep in that.
Yeah. I remember that first day he got there. Me, him, and Cody went to Killer Tacos, and or no, it was either that or Surf and Salsa. But that
Yeah.
was a good time. But yeah, you moved into the annex. How did you end up at Camp Erdman originally? Like, what drew you out there?
Man, dude, I've got kind of a story, but it's honestly a simple answer is I just Googled it. But how I got to that was I was a camp kid. I was a camp rat when I was younger. I went to this summer camp for 7 years, every summer. And until I aged out, I got too old for it. And it was a drive for me in North Dakota. It was, I think, a 5 hour drive away. So I really wanted to be a counselor there once I aged out of being a camper. And at the time, this was like, I think I would have been like 15 or 16 when you age out of being a camper.
Yeah.
And but with the 5 hour drive, I just like they didn't offer housing on the weekends, so it's like, okay, I would have had to drive to my sister who is an hour away, or I think it was 2 hours away, every weekend twice, to go back and forth. And
Does she live
it was
closer
just
to the
like
camp or something?
she was going to college in a different town, so she lived a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't feasible to spend that summer at like 15 or 16, however old I was, to do that. So I had to kind of put a pin in that idea of being a camp counselor and went on with life. And then college came around and so did COVID about the same time. And then I went, because of COVID, my college went online, and I had a tough time with that. It was my social life just tanked. I wasn't talking to anyone.
Yeah.
A lot of my work was just done sitting on a computer, and I just did not like it. Um, and it was a new experience. Everyone was kind of getting used to it. You know, that whole lockdown time, no one really was too happy.
Yeah,
So I was like,
for sure.
you know what? I'm gonna finish up my 2 years of college. Got an associate's degree, and I was like, I'll come back to college later if I want, but right now with COVID, I'm gonna do something else. And lockdown started kind of being like, okay, like you can kind of go around and do things. You can travel again, just wear masks. And so then I was like, well, maybe I look at being a camp counselor for the summer. And so I started looking online, and I'm like, okay, like where could I go? Like, because it'd be fun to travel. And then I found out that some of them did offer housing because, like I said, my camp didn't offer housing, so I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And found out some do, and I was like, you know what? This is a shot in the dark, but I'm gonna look up to see if Hawaii has any camps that do that. And looked up summer camps in Hawaii and found the camp there, and sent an application in and heard back from the boss, and the rest is history.
Did you have your Did you have your interview like in December, like a whole 6 months prior?
I think I applied pretty late. Well, maybe not. I think I applied in December, but late December,
Yeah.
and then probably had my interview maybe January or February.
Yeah. There's like a whole process to it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. What a wild time. Like you just kind of just like I think we all have like one of those stories like how we ended up out there, and it's
Hmm.
unique to everybody else. But yours is just you Googled it, and that's sick.
Yeah. What
uh,
about you?
I grew up in Papillion and Nebraska, and my friend from high school worked there 2018 summer, and I saw them post on Instagram and how much I wanted to work there was. I was like, that's cool. I want to do that. So I ended up going to the YMCA in my hometown of Papillion, Nebraska, and at the time, uh, the summer of 2017, I was lifeguarding at a it's like an adventure park in Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska's only water park and rides. They would
Yeah.
lazy river, wave pool, drop slides, other slides. They're building a roller coaster this year. They're popping off. They
Yeah.
I worked as the bartender there as well in previous summers, more
Yeah.
recently. But no, so
Hmm.
I was lifeguarding there 2017, 2016. In 2017, at end of the summer season, I went to the YMCA in my local town because my friend was an inspiration for me to work at Erdman. And I became a lifeguard at their indoor pool in Papillion, Nebraska. And I did that from September of 2017 or September of 2018 until May of 2019. And
Hmm.
in May of 2019, my supervisor from the YMCA was my direct referral. And then my friend, who also ended up working the 2019 summer, who moved back, was another referral. Um,
Hmm.
Drew, our lovely Drew, he was the assistant camp director. It was his second season there, but
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Like the turnaround, I guess everybody that had worked years prior had changed, which seems to be a common theme.
Hmm.
It's a very turnaround environment in a camp. But Isaac Brand was my summer director in 2019. A guy you probably never heard of, maybe you've heard
No.
of, but he was the go-to summer director guy. He was pretty good. He led all the the morning ollies and stuff.
Hmm.
And Drew was kind of just like just your regular old guy. And Tyler Manuel was he was just like the boys coordinator, like the lead
Oh.
head cabin counselor.
Head counselor or whatever.
Yeah, and so me and Tyler became my friend like that first week of 2019. And that's
Dang.
how I got out there
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Dang. Yeah, because I remember going there and because you weren't there my first summer. Because you left, when did you say? May of 2019, right?
Yeah, I got there May of 2019. I did that summer, and then I
Okay.
left when the pandemic. Like I did go home
Oh,
for the fall for 3 weeks, and then I was like, screw this, I'm going back. So I became working in the kitchen.
yeah, that's right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and then I ended up like moving back during Christmas time for
Hmm.
Christmas stuff, and then I stayed home for like a month, and I was like, nope, can't do this. It was like dead of winter in Nebraska, and
Yeah.
Libby at the time, the kitchen director,
Mhm.
she hired me for the fall. She was willing to hire me for the spring. She didn't really have as many opportunities for me in the kitchen, but she said that there's this guy working maintenance who he was like 80 years old and he tipped the lawnmower over and he was like injured and he couldn't work anymore. So she needed somebody to do like lawn care. And at that time we
Mhm.
had no zero turn mower. It was like a push mower because the other one had tipped over and that one was like the one that tipped over had a steering wheel on it. Like
Oh, yeah.
so we got blessed with a zero turn mower later in life after. But yeah, so I moved back for that spring of 2020 and I was there for 3 weeks. I think that's the same season Olivia and Eric were introduced to Erdman, and we all got laid off. A lot of the people that I was working with was like we were over at the cabins just doing a little pre-week inspection, and then the school canceled, and everybody's like, "It's over." And
Dang.
everybody was like talking about going on unemployment and getting laid off, and I was like, "Dang, my time's coming, isn't it?" And then sure enough, in another 2 days, got the notification from my boss Libby that they couldn't afford to keep me around anymore, and I'm just moved there 3 weeks ago. I'm
Dang.
living in by the pool in my own cabin.
Yeah.
The cabins that are closest to the ocean. I
Right.
didn't live on the one that faced the ocean. I lived on the one that faced like just the little area, that little.
Yeah.
So I lived in that little room. I think most recently, uh, I don't know who lived in there, but I lived in that little thing, and I was like, "Dang, I got my own room. This is awesome." And then all of a sudden, COVID comes. So my
Mhm.
family advised me to fly back to Nebraska because who knew what the world was going to be like? I thought the island would become a zombie apocalypse,
Yeah,
and
right.
I'd have to fend for myself. So I'm like, I'm going to go home, and plus, who knows? Maybe this will kill my family. I want to go be around those people.
Yeah, jeez.
I know. So I went back home to Nebraska, and I just I took a gap semester that semester, like not to go to school, and then the COVID hit, and so I'm just sitting in Nebraska and don't really have much of a purpose in life, and it was kind of like you're saying, down in the dumps. But I wish I was taking online classes at the time because I did it the entire fall previously while I worked in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
But but yeah, that was my introduction to the good old Erdman days when I first started.
Mhm.
That's how I ended up there originally. Um,
So,
and that my next question was going to be, what was your life like before we met? But I think we pretty much hit it on the nail. Unless you feel like
yeah.
there's more you didn't get to share, but I feel like
No,
yeah, I feel like I got it out of you.
yeah.
I wrote this down. I wrote just because uh, I like took a. I went online and I looked for a bunch of questions just because why not?
Okay.
But the question is,
All right.
did we ever have a disagreement? Something that we didn't like, maybe like that we didn't agree on or something.
Man, I mean, I want to say, okay, if memory serves me right, I don't believe we ever like argued or disagreed even. But I mean, we were in a camp environment, maybe there were some things that we didn't agree with, but I don't think we ever argued or actually like talked to each other. I think if anything, we probably would have dealt with it. Like, I don't know if you had any disagreements with me
No, I actually asked that question to my friend in the last episode, and they said that the only thing would be like maybe the dishes weren't done, but we didn't really even have a sink or a kitchen.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, I don't think we had any disagreements. And if they were anything, it was kind of like maybe the setup for ropes course, and we had, and I don't even, I'm just making up a hypothetical because I can't
Yeah.
put my tongue on one. But it was so minuscule that it wasn't even necessarily a disagreement. It was just problem solving together. From what
Yeah, and
it
that's
was.
kind of what I'm thinking too. Like there had to be something, because of the camp environment, but I don't think it was anything that, looking back now, really actually mattered.
Exactly. Like not enough to
Right.
memorize it.
Yeah, and it's like the type of people we are too. I feel like it just, to us, it wouldn't have been worth the effort of like having that kind of discussion
We're
for
holding,
something like that.
yeah, we're holding a grudge.
Yeah, yeah. But I do have to say, there is one thing.
Yeah.
I remember when I moved into the annex, there was in the bathroom, do you remember there was like three different dressers in
Oh,
there?
yeah,
There
dude.
was two giant ones stacked on top of each other, and then the one small one. And I remember moving in there and I'm like, "Hey, JP, do you mind if I like snag a drawer?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I later, because I thought there was three other guys living there in there at the time, I thought that you guys were all splitting them. I later found out that you had all the drawers except one, and that's the one you gave me. And I didn't have a problem with it, but I was just dying laughing. I'm like, how did you even bring this much stuff?
Dude, yeah, when I first got out there, I shoved it all in one suitcase. So I don't know
Dude,
how I acquired anything.
what?
Like, but yeah, I guess I took a lot of drawers up. I can totally see that. Um, where was my bed? My bed was over by the front entrance, right?
Yeah, you were over by the deck,
Yeah, and I had my little curtain and
the lockers.
the lockers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a divider, a room divider.
I needed it, dude. Whenever I'm like around people, so I'm a people person, a big family guy, and
Hmm.
if somebody's awake, like I'll pull an all nighter if they're up, and it's not healthy. Like
That's
I'm
so
a
funny.
social guy, if but
Yeah.
so I had to like I have to block myself off from the public a little bit, like throw some headphones in to fall asleep because if I hear people talking, or even if a movie's on in the background, or
Yeah.
like music, like I'll just tap my thumb, and just stay awake.
You'll yeah, you'll meander around and see what's
Exactly.
popping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My next question is what were you most afraid of at the time? So, during your entire stay from your introduction to getting to Camp Erdman until the time you departed, uh, maybe you're afraid of something at the time. Maybe it was a valid fear. Maybe it's something you've got over. What was something that maybe sticks out for something you might have a
Fear,
little fear for?
fear, man. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to be scared of in the world. I think the biggest one though is it's probably pretty realistic and common for people to think in that situation is what's next would probably be my biggest fear,
Yeah.
because you can't you can't live camp life forever. And if you can, it's really hard. It's like not just hard on you, but it's hard to do because like you said, the environment there is very like people in, people out. And I knew that eventually I wasn't going to stay there forever. I wasn't going to work my way up the ladder to owner of the camp because that's the only thing that really you'd have that would get you to your 50s maybe in age wise. So I think my biggest fear there, I left college and went straight there, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I can buy some time here, but what's after this?
Yeah. I was talking to Tyler the other day on the phone and he was saying that I was talking about our time at camp, and he
Hmm.
was saying like it's only sustainable if you want to become the director. And even for
Yeah.
Drew, our buddy, he did his time there, but he could only get so far up in the ladder until You know, unless Mish leaves or, you know, something
Yeah,
opens up that's bigger, maybe throughout the YMCA of Honolulu organization. Uh,
yeah, exactly.
but you can only grow so much as a person. I see what you're saying. Like, that might be a thing you were afraid of at the time. Like, what's next? Because it is tough
Yeah.
out there in the camp world, trying
Mm-hmm.
trying to advance.
Yeah.
You got to really buy into the that's your lifestyle now. If you want, if
Yep.
that's what you want to do.
Oh yeah, dude. You are fully locked into camp life if that's what you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to you know, go off of that question, I wrote, what were you most excited for during that time? Maybe you were excited to go do something. Maybe that thing never came true. Maybe it came true, but at the time being, it could have been like me watching, like for me, and I like in the moment, I like watching the Husker football games. I was most excited for those Saturdays and having them
I
off.
was gonna say those
But
Saturday mornings, dude.
yeah, dude, I would be like, everybody's allowed to come over. We're all rooting for the Huskers, and we literally lose that first game in Ireland to Northwestern. Me and Cody are just like bummed, but more so me.
Yeah.
I don't
Sitting
think.
in your overalls too.
Yeah, sitting in my overalls, having a fireball shooter, just ready to roll. Yeah. No, but what were you most excited for? Like at the time,
Oh. Um, man,
you just went through the whole summer. We're working all the time. Were you excited to like explore the island with your free time?
yeah, that's a good one. I After the second summer when I stayed there, I ended up buying a moped actually from Tyler. I bought his moped, and that mixed with the extra free time off summer was so nice. I could actually leave camp kind of sort of when I wanted to and go explore the island to an extent. You know, on a moped you can't get too far on the island,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was, I mean, just seeing the island, dude. That was why I was really there in a sense, you know. I mean,
So much freedom in those fall and spring seasons compared to summer.
oh yeah, dude. In the summer, Cody said it as a joke one time to me, and I was like, no, you're actually speaking the truth right here. But he was like, you're literally working 22 hours out of the day when you're summer.
Yeah, if a kid's hurt and you're in the cabin and it's the middle of the night,
Yeah,
I
that's you.
yeah, when 2019 we had a Japanese company purchase out the whole camp for 2 weeks,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and they only spoke Japanese, kids from 5 to 18, and there was like 5% of them knew English and could speak with you English. So
Ooh.
25% of them knew what you were saying but couldn't speak back to you. They could only speak back in Japanese. And this kid, he's 5 years old. I'm with the youngsters, and he gets bit by a centipede on
Oh,
his hand or whatever. And he's crying to me in the middle of the night, and I got Google Translate out, and I'm trying to like be like, "What's wrong, buddy?" And like because the service is so bad in those cabins, I was on SOS mode, so Google Translate wasn't getting me anywhere, and this kid was just crying. It's like 3 a.m., and I'm like, ugh. And come to find out, I'm like, while I'm asking him, all of a sudden I see the centipede running across his bed. And I'm like, I know exactly what happened here. But you'd be
yeah,
working 22 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, certainly. And then
yeah,
Sunday, the kids would get in there at 2, and you wouldn't get a break that day. And Friday, they would get in at 6, and you wouldn't get a break that, or they'd leave at 6, and you wouldn't get a break until they left. So you have,
yeah,
I don't even know how many hours that would be, but 22 hours a day for most of the part of, you know, at least if you
yeah.
get a good group of kids, you can get some sleep. But if you had a bad
Right,
cabin, dude, your life's ruined.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, if you go off the time you had off, you had Saturday off and Friday night. So like 6 hours on Friday, 24 hours Saturday. You got 30 hours, and then like we had to be at the
10 a.m.
morning meeting
meeting.
at yeah 10 a.m. So
So that's
like you
10
had,
hours.
yeah, so 40 hours off in a week,
40 hours off a week.
and that's what people work full time like in life, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, what we did on our time off, the 40 hours, is basically what we were getting paid for too. Like the compensation was not, I mean, we had a place to live and food to
Yeah,
eat. And I'm thankful for that. but
Yeah.
we weren't compensated that great. My first
No,
summer, I was making, dude, it was in the hundreds, 100,
dude. I
140, $180 my first summer.
Yeah, dude. That's about what I was making my first summer too, because it was when the new owner came in, and he like one of the first things he did was bump the pay, and he was like, this Drew told me what he was saying. He's like, why are they getting paid so little? It's like, good question. You know, it would
Yeah.
be not even $200 like in a paycheck almost.
The job was so, like, or there's such a high supply of employees, and the demand was like, I don't know. I think it was just easy for them to pay us because everybody wanted to live in Hawaii, and the
Yeah,
people before were like they'll accept it. So
yeah,
it was like a I don't know. It's like a prestige to get the job offer, so
right. Yeah,
they could do it. But yeah, some guy, whoever came in and did that, bless his heart. Because when I came back in 2022, you know, I was like,
dude.
let's
It
go.
was it was nice because it was a good bump in the pay too.
Yeah, $400 a week was
Yeah,
still not like to die for, but it's good money. Especially when
yeah,
you don't have to sleep in the kids, like you don't have to be a head counselor and you don't sleep in those cabins. Like when I was social media manager, like
yeah,
I got a pay raise and my own like bed at night without kids.
right.
Like
Yeah.
how amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't that lucky. I
I
still had to sleep with the kids my second summer, but
yeah. Hey, but you
give
yeah,
and you take.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. My first season there, when I became like working in the kitchen, my pay
Hmm.
was bumped up to $10 an hour. I was working an hourly wage because technically I didn't live at camp. Uh, they didn't have a place for me to live at camp, but my roommate, I moved into Hall A B with Dustin Radke and
Oh,
Steven Overshiner, and
yeah.
we went to what was the beach house, which is now demolished. But we went there and
Hmm.
we took a bunk bed out of it, took the pegs off the bunk bed, attached them to Steven's bed, and then we put that bed on top, and I was just like bunking with Steven and Dustin and Holly B, technically not living at camp.
Yeah, dang.
So I got $10 an hour, and then Steven, like, he was gonna leave camp because they were paying him like dog crap.
Hmm.
He was the summer kitchen guy, and then he got bumped up to $10 an hour because I was getting $10 an hour. And then
Hmm.
all the girls that worked in the kitchen over summer who moved to OE for the fall,
Yeah.
they were so pissed because they're like, "What are you guys getting paid $10 an hour for?" Because then they were back on that OE pay, whole different.
Yeah. Oh,
So that was
so.
hilarious. I was making $10 an hour, and everybody was they're like, this guy's rich." It was funny. Um, yeah, money. I'm glad the money's getting better there. The money's great at other camps I've worked at.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've heard.
Camp Deer in New Zealand, it was great pay, and it was
Really?
$50 a month for my rent in a house with a bedroom.
Dude,
So they just
like
take it out of
American dollars?
no, like New Zealand dollars.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and I was getting paid New Zealand dollars, like 75% off American dollars. So like 50
Okay.
bucks a month would be um 75 divided by 2. What's that? That would be that. Whatever that is, 30 something. 30 something
30,
bucks a month USD for a rent.
yeah,
And then I was getting paid like $14 an hour, and sometimes, and if overtime pay, if you went over 40 hours a week.
dang, dude, what?
Yeah, it was pretty sick working there.
Living life up there.
Yeah. Um, so I guess that kind of answers what were you most excited for exploring the island and just getting to do your thing. Where did you go after you left camp? I know that I think you went to the camp down the road,
Hmm.
but uh, kind of explain that to me.
Yeah, so um I met a girl at Erdman, and we did long distance for a little bit. She, she's from Illinois. We did long distance for a little bit, and eventually we made it back to Camp Erdman for the 2023 summer. And we kind of wanted to do like 1 year there in Hawaii, like one last year kind of thing. That was our plan. And and we were like, we can try to stay at Erdman too. And so when the off season came up, things just didn't work out at Erdman. They were doing um like I guess downsizing in a sense. So there was a lot less opportunities for a job.
Because they're paying people
And
too much, huh?
right, yeah. And and so yeah, so we were like, okay, like let's explore other options here. And we had a tough time finding it. And eventually we were just like, well, there's another camp down the road. They had an open position, and it was just by luck that when I called, I was like, hey, is there any chance there's another position that is available? And they were like, yeah, we're actually going to have one opening up here in a few weeks, and which was perfect timing, literally down to the day. It was perfect timing. And so we're like, sweet. So after the summer at Erdman, we moved down the road and went
Yeah, you
to
stored
the.
you stored all your stuff in my bedroom when I moved back.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you were because Nathan
That's
was.
right.
I
Yeah.
moved in there and I was like, "What's all? This all says Jackson and Ellie on it." Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. You were
Yeah.
on a little vacation home or something. You were just holding some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some family things going on that had to be handled.
Yeah.
Um, and then so after that, then we went back, flew back to Hawaii and moved down the road, and we stayed there, and we didn't realize how lucky we got with those two positions being available until we later learned on that the positions that we got were not seasonal. They were like year-round positions, and there's only four of those positions at the camp, and the guy's position who I got was there for 6 years,
Oh,
and then the other people were there for like 2 years or more. And it's like, dang, we got really lucky that two of them left at the same time, and like to the day that we needed, you know. So anyway, we went to that camp, and it was similar, but had a lot of differences as well. Um, had some pros, had some cons. Um,
Libby was
and
there, right?
yeah, yeah, actually Libby, Malia, and Cheryl were all there. And
Yeah.
that was a sight to see because I knew all of them from my first summer and haven't seen them since. And I'm like, no way, like what a breath of fresh air kind of thing.
Yeah, I worked with Cheryl, Malia in the kitchen like daily when I was a kitchen
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And then, well, and then Libby, of course. Libby was a little
Mhm.
more like she was the director. She's kind of like
Yep.
Jared. She didn't come into the kitchen and work,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. She was,
but it was still, it's just wild that she moved down the road and then you ended up working with him.
yeah. Yeah.
You lived in a yurt there, right?
Yeah, that was one of the challenges we had to face there was living in a yurt, which is basically just a tent with a slight framework and a floor, I guess. Is the best way to explain it. And there was no power, there was no AC, there was no, I mean, we had Wi-Fi, and that was it. Literally it. We didn't have uh, a toilet even. We had something called an incinerator toilet, which is like,
Burns it.
yeah, it's used for camping mostly, which is
Yeah.
fair, but that's what we had. And for the first few weeks, that was fine. Like it was definitely something that we had to get used to.
Yeah.
But then after a few weeks, it broke. And dude, we were at that camp for like 7 months. Never worked again. So we did not have a toilet. Uh we didn't have power. We had to bring like these giant battery packs back and forth, probably like a quarter of a mile away to go charge them up at the front office all day. They sat there charging, and then we'd have to remember to go pick them back up and bring them to the yurt at night. And dude, like after a whole day of like programming or housekeeping and working with kids, running around, it is the worst feeling to lay down back in your bed, turn over to plug your phone in, and then realize you forgot it. So then you got to walk in pitch dark, walk half a mile basically there and back to go get your stinking power block to charge your phone.
Yeah.
And it was so tough, but it was an experience for sure, and it was kind of fun in a sense. Like we definitely learned a lot. We learned how much we didn't need, not trying to get too deep, but
No, yeah.
oh,
Once you live in a lifestyle of like, you know,
yeah, you just
uh,
live out of a suitcase. As long as you got clothes and some source of food, like and water, you're chilling.
yeah,
It's
and
like just the
income.
necessities. Yeah, exactly. And income.
And your pay over there was much better than Erdman. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, yeah. So I worked at Erdman for like 4 years and got pretty significant like pay bumps and raises and stuff. And over there, when I moved, I still had better pay, which, obviously that's not what everything's about, but
But
that
it
was,
helps. For sure
yeah,
helps.
yeah, kind of helped the fact of living in a yurt a little bit. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Um, then after that, my girlfriend and I, we went to Maine actually and worked at a country club there. That was a seasonal position, and we got there in like, when would that be? June, and we worked there till like mid-October. And that was fun. That was cool. Definitely a change of pace, change of scenery
Of
from
2025, June.
when was it? Yeah, that would have been 2025. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, going from a yurt to then like the house that we lived in, because they also gave housing for the employees. This house that we lived in, 9 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, two massive living rooms, and it was just like such a change from living with no power, no toilet, all that stuff to that was like
Did you share those bedrooms or was it just
no,
you?
no, it was just you. You had an entire bedroom to yourself and an entire bathroom to yourself.
Oh, but the other 9 bedrooms were other people's rooms?
Yeah, and it was
I
all in
thought you
one
had a
house.
whole house like a mansion.
Oh, no,
I was
no,
like,
dude.
dude, that is a crazy change.
I don't think I ever would have left that, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
But
Let's.
yeah, and
What'd you do
that
there? What
was
was your title? What was your job title?
um well, mine was kind of a mix. I did a lot of different things. My main one that I did was bartending at the poolside of the wellness center there. I tried getting in as a personal trainer, and I did some work for the gym, but not as much as I was hoping for,
Yeah.
um, which kind of stunk. But bartending gave really good tips there, so that was nice. And then I did some security at their gatehouse, their like front entrance.
Yeah.
And dude, that was the easiest job in the world, man. I would just sit in their little guard shack and look on the computer, and I'd be watching Netflix or YouTube or something for, I think it was like 7 hours I worked there, like
That's a chill
shifts.
job.
Dude, it was boring, and it was like had its challenges in a sense too, but so easy.
I know a guy that's worked at a security gate like that, and he said he brought
Mhm.
his Oculus, and he got a warning, and he brought it again and got fired. I was like,
No way,
"What are you doing, dude? Can't bring
dude.
an Oculus to the security gate. It's like
Right?
the biggest no-no."
Yeah. You
But
can't see anything.
yeah, but hey, you know what? He just was doing what he did. It was either him or his buddy. It probably was his
Right.
buddy. I don't think he'd out himself like that.
Yeah.
But hilarious. Like that's a cool thing that you. So you left Hawaii and went to Maine, and
Yeah.
uh, and you stayed there until you said what, October
Yeah. October
of
of
2020.
2025.
And then after that,
After that, we kind of decided that we were done with seasonal jobs and we're ready to start our careers in life. And, I mean, uh, to be completely honest, like marriage and just like actual life things of like the families. I don't know how to explain it, like kids, marriage, house, cars, all that stuff that comes into play. It's like we were kind of ready to start building that. And although we're not engaged, we're not married or anything, we have started our careers and we moved to South Dakota, um, Sioux Falls, and it's been great. It has been kind of a interesting winter here because we moved in like January.
oh
We spent
yeah,
a few months at our hometowns and did long distance, but we moved in January, and that was something we got lucky with, not too much snow or rain or anything, so the move was great. But then after that, then the snowstorm started coming, and it was hard.
Brutally cold and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. And now she's working on her career, and I'm working on mine, and we're just living life, you know.
So you're from Devil's Lake, North Dakota.
Yeah,
She's from, where's she from?
Illinois.
Oh yeah, oh
She's
yeah. I
like
remember watching
central.
the Husker game against them. Illinois won. I was like, don't
Yeah,
even talk to me.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you moved around a bit: Hawaii, North
Mhm.
Dakota, South Dakota, Maine. What's the biggest culture shock from your home? Like when you first went to Hawaii, the culture shock there, and then how does the East Coast and Maine differ from home or any? You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between these areas and people that exist?
Man, differences, there's so many. Um, I mean, Hawaii is almost like a whole other kind of country itself. There's just so many different cultures there, and a lot of them mesh together, a lot of them like kind of like have a contrast with them. But there's just so much there. And then the Midwest has theirs, which is like it's all pretty much the same, I would say. Like you've got your um like your Norwegians, your German, Dutch, all that, Irish. Those are like your common ones there, and all those cultures kind of mix in together there. Um, Maine was different. I honestly don't really know too much like about Maine's culture. Like I feel like I wasn't there long enough to really dive into it.
Yeah. Plus, you're in resort life, so people on
Yeah,
vacation and
yeah,
in and out. I bet.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. From what I could tell, the culture there was kind of as you'd expect. It's just another state in America and very boating heavy, fishing heavy culture, I
Is
guess is the best way I can explain it.
is it warm there?
It was when we went in the summer, and it started cooling down about October. There was a few cold days before, but
Is the
it was,
ocean cold?
dude, the ocean was freezing the entire summer.
Yeah, I could
So
imagine.
cold. That was one thing we were kind of like, man, we can't wait to get in the ocean, but I wonder how cold it's gonna feel because we're used to the Hawaii ocean where it's warm year round. Not even a thought goes through how warm is that water gonna be. And then you jump into the main ocean and it's like, dude, this is like cold plunge temperature here.
Yeah.
It's freezing.
It's crazy how far you get away from the equator, like how much you like I love the beach and I love going to it,
Mhm.
but once that water temperature just dips, it's like I'll still go to the beach, it just might not get in today.
Yeah, yeah. Go to the beach for the sand, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
uh,
But the weather's warm. It was like you could wear a t-shirt and shorts most of the time during the summer.
oh yeah, 100%. I'd be outside doing my runs with no shirt on and working out in the sun. It was just like any other summer, really.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
cool. What's
yeah,
something you've accomplished that you're really proud of since we last saw each other?
I would say that um, I, it would be like my business, I guess, my career path that I'm going on is that fear that I had. I think I've overcome it, and I found where I kind of want to be in life and what I want to do, and I've started an entrepreneurial path, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, explain what you do and how what like if you're gonna continue with this business outside of what you've done. Like, what are you trying to solve, or what are you trying to sell? I guess.
Yeah. Well, to put it plainly, I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Um, I just always had a passion for fitness, and it's always kind of stuck around in my life in one way or another, whether that be through work or extracurricular hobbies and stuff. Um, and found the passion for it, found the love for it, and now that's what I want to do. I want to help people also find that passion, and with everything going on with the obesity and immobility of people today. It's people live such a sedentary life, constantly online, remote work, online college,
Less,
stuff like that.
yeah, there's less of a pressure to get up and move and work because most things
Yeah,
can be automated. I
exactly.
was listening
And
to a podcast recently about how 75% of today's kids are ineligible to like pass the military fitness test.
dude, yeah, isn't that just crazy?
Yeah, because in like the 50s, every kid passed. Like it was kind of like
Yeah,
you just had to pass PE. So this the
yeah,
world is kind of it's getting more like Wally.
yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Fat people in chairs, man.
Yeah. Hey,
But no,
I'll be that guy one day probably. I'm sitting in my lawn chair right now. I'll be on the beach drinking a beer, but it's all about personal preference as well
oh
for
yeah.
a lot of those things.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the thing with this whole industry of personal training. It's like it's it's what the people like what your clients want. If someone wants to just get bigger and just build muscle and they don't care about what they weigh, that's fine. That's your goal. My biggest thing is I just want people to move, you know?
yeah.
It's like
A lot of
move
people
and
they don't necessarily want to get bigger. I know a lot of people do, but I know a lot of
right.
people that don't. They just want to be toned.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's I feel like a niche. Well, not a niche. I feel like that's a large, broad market in the personal
yeah,
training aspect.
yeah.
I used to work at
Yeah,
a gym when I was six. That was my first job.
oh yeah.
Yeah, for
Pumping iron in there?
pumping iron and checking people in and mopping the floor and whatever, closing down and opening up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was always creating new accounts, and I worked. It was like $10 a month at the gym I worked at,
Mhm.
with like 5 locations back in Omaha. But
Yeah.
yeah, the personal trainers that worked there, they would have their own little cubicles. And
Hmm.
I remember this. I have a very, very uh, strong memory of this man. I don't remember his name, but he would, as he left for the day, he would like walk out of the front door. He would throw his keys up from his hand in front of him, and then he'd put his hand behind his back, and then it would do like a rainbow over him, and he would catch it, and he would say, "Catch you on the flip." And I think he only dropped it once out of like the 8 months I worked there, and I saw him like 3 times a week. This guy, he knew how to throw keys over his shoulder. I don't know,
Dude,
but
he was
that's
smooth with it.
he was smooth with it. That was a little tangent, but yeah, it was good. That's cool. You're starting your own business. This is kind of what I'm trying to do with whatever I'm the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's good to
Yeah.
go, like grow yourself and feel like you're making progress in life, like you have a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's been the biggest thing too, is like not I mean, like kind of like you said earlier, everyone's got their ways about whatever they want to do, they can do that. But I also feel so much better if I'm doing my own thing and
yeah.
not so much just taking orders from someone else. And
I wrote down what's your biggest professional risk, but I'm gonna rephrase that
mhm.
because I feel like I feel like we're gonna just answer the same. We're just gonna talk about the same subject. But so to rephrase it, as an example, I said my biggest professional risk uh, was I got out of university, I got out of high school, and I didn't like go straight into like a 9 to 5 sales role, like
Mhm.
some like corporate job. I took
Right.
the route of traveling to Hawaii or wherever else I've been. And I wrote travel is an adventure more than a risk. So, like, if you have a foundation and you know your job and your house and everything, like everything's lined up, it's less of a
Mhm.
risk than an adventure. But so I don't think travel would be my biggest professional risk, but I think just not going with the standard that everybody else does, like
Yeah.
start a job and stay in my hometown. And I feel like my biggest professional risk so far was, I feel like I'd be really great in those roles. You know,
Hmm.
s- 9 to 5, sitting at home, never leave and grow like that. But yeah, what's your biggest? I feel like that also is probably very similar for you that you left Devil's Lake.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would probably be it for me too. And it's like, ditching college and it's It's like the way I had to tell that to my parents and be like, I just went up to him one day and I'm like, hey, I'm leaving college and I applied to a job in Hawaii that I'll be living there for 3 months at least. And it's kind of like, that's such a risk in so many different ways. It's like, okay, so you're leaving college, you're going halfway across the world, and you're just doing a new job, a new career path, basically.
temporarily.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many things. I think that would probably be the biggest risk that I've taken. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, and kind of like you were talking about earlier, it's not necessarily a risk, it's just the less safe option because that 9 to 5 in sales, that's safe. That's what everyone goes with. That's what's comfortable for people. And you know that that's going to work to some degree because it has for so many other people.
Right. And I know friends back home, plumbers, electricians, I know a cop, I know a sprinkler technician. I know all
Hmm.
these guys and they started that way. That's what they did out of high school or college or whatever, what have you.
Hmm.
And now they're very happy and I couldn't wish them better, but they now are at a point where they're having kids and getting married and they won't really have the opportunity ever now to just up and leave unless their
Exactly.
wife and their children want to go with it, but they've built such a connection to their parents and the families, and like Easter comes around and the holidays and like it's just such a tight knit thing for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a professional risk regardless whatever route you go.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm glad with what I've been up to. And I bet you feel the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
If money wasn't an object, you have total freedom, right? What would you
Yeah.
build? Where would you go? What would you see in an ideal world? Like you don't have to worry about nothing. What's are you just staying the same way, or there's at least some place you want to go visit
Yeah. Oh man, that's tough. If
or
money wasn't an object,
build a house somewhere or buy a cool car or something?
dude, this might sound cheesy, but the I don't even know if this would work, but if I could choose and it would be like, okay, we're all doing this, let's go. And this sounds so bad, but I had to force them basically, and they'd be like, okay, yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would move to Hawaii and take my family, my girlfriend's family, and move them too, and just have, yeah, I wouldn't worry about building anything. I wouldn't worry about anything. I would honestly like to keep everything else the same, but like Hawaii was just so awesome,
Yeah.
and it would be awesome to be there again. But realistically, my side of the family is growing. My sister's got a kid now. Both my sisters are married, and my girlfriend's side of the family is starting to grow too, where she's got cousins that are getting married, and so family's a huge part in our life right now, and being that far away is really hard because you end up missing a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like my grandma's getting older and my grandpa's getting older. My other grandma's in the retirement home, and
Hmm.
I if I did, I'm out here in California, so I'm not even close to my family, and I do feel that way. I feel like I'm missing those parts of my life, but those are always just like once every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, stop by see grandma. It's like
Yeah,
if I could do that and be like, if money wasn't an issue, I'd just fly home like all the time, just visit.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it too. You don't have to move anything. You can just fly around whenever.
Yeah. What's a bucket list? One thing left or up next in your bucket list? Like, what's one thing you
Uh,
haven't done that you want to do?
oh man, which one do I say?
You can say them all.
Uh, well, okay, in Hawaii, I wanted to skydive, and that I was going to. Then I found out that I mean, obviously, you find out there's accidents or whatever has happened, whether they're bad accidents or not so bad. Found out those happened, and then chickened out, and I was like, ah, man, I don't know if I want to skydive anymore. And then
Yeah.
never ended up doing it. And I'm like, okay, well, it's still on the bucket list. I just I just need to work myself back up to it,
Do you
back
think
up
it
to
would
the
have
height.
to be there, or do you think you could bucket or you could skydive, or would you want to
Uh,
be there?
it would be awesome to be there again, but I'm not too set on the location of it, just as long as it's not like in the middle of nowhere where all you see going down is just
Cornfields.
farmland.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't blame you there.
yeah. I would like to see some ocean maybe,
Yeah.
but um, that one is a bucket list one. But the big one for me is going to Egypt, since we've been talking about traveling a lot. Ever since I was in sixth grade and we kind of learned about the pyramids, it's
Yeah.
been I've just been so fascinated by it, and it's like I have to go there at some point. And
Yeah. Everybody has a
so,
little calling, once you think of something like that, you're like, dude, before I die.
yeah.
Mine for that is Capri, Italy right now.
Oh,
You ever
ew.
heard of Capri, Italy?
No.
It's like I think it's close to Sicily. It's at the
Okay.
the the ankle of the boot or something like
Okay.
that. And it's
Yeah.
on the ocean and well, I really don't know much about it. I know that there's a lot of cool rock jumping and the water's crystal clear and it's warm.
Ooh.
But the
Mm-hmm.
the biggest draw to it is when I was little I drank Capri Suns and I want to experience the sun in Capri and that's why I want to go.
Dude.
It's so still it's silly but it's like that's why it's a bucket list thing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's where the best ideas come from, though. Is like the things like that.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
so awesome.
throwing it back to the plane crashes that happened. My
Yeah.
first summer, 2019, it was Friday. The kids just left. Their parents picked them up, and it's
Hmm.
like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and the
Hmm.
plane crashed with the one that killed like 12 people. It
Yeah.
crashed on the road Friday at 6 p.m. and they closed it down like the entire night. So everybody at camp with your couple days off, like
Dude.
they called Ubers to pick them up and the Ubers
Hmm.
couldn't make it and then we drove in people's vehicles down the road and the cops were blocking it off and you could see the plane crash.
Dude.
And I was like,
That,
is this an episode of Lost? Like, what are they
right?
filming over here? But it was like the real deal. So that entire
Dude.
weekend, nobody left camp. Well,
Dude, that's
honestly,
crazy.
I think some people they walked on the beach and diverted it and got picked up by
Uh,
their Ubers on the other side. But
yeah.
I think for the most part, I stayed back, and a lot of people that were already in town for some reason had to walk over around the beach, and then people went and picked them up in their car. And then not only what a couple years later, another plane crash happened. So I
Yeah.
also like in the same boat as you. I don't want to skydive there.
Hmm.
The winds that hit the mountains and the way they just throw the planes around, it's like scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just it. It's funny though, because it was like I was kind of starting to get to a point where I was working myself back up to it when I was at that other camp down the road. My last time there, because I was kind of like, well, this might be my last chance to do it in Hawaii, so maybe I should just kind of like go for it. And we were right across the road from the skydiving airport, mind you. And I'm kind of throughout the days, throughout the weeks, I'm working myself up, kind of convincing myself to do it. I'm like, it honestly like is so rare for an accident like that to happen. Like, how many people do they actually take up there, and how many times do they actually have an accident? Well, dude, one like a day later, I was walking by, saw across the street. I don't know what happened, but I just saw like two ambulances over there and just a huge crowd of people around them. And I'm like, yeah, that sealed the deal for me. I'm not doing it there.
Yeah, but but going forward, I do want to see the ocean if I ever skydive. It just
Yeah,
might not be
yeah,
here.
right.
I think that first plane crash was the right engine on the wing failed, and so it just
Really,
scooped. It went like probably 100, maybe less than 100 feet up in the air, and then just nosedived to the right onto the road.
dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know the details of the second one, but I do. It was like a crash, right, for sure,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
which is sad. Um, any other bucket list things that you had in mind?
I mean, no, obviously, like the business that I'm doing with the personal training. Um, that I would love to make that a full-time gig.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Trying to get some things in the works so that I can do it like in person and remote. So like virtual personal training, which would be sweet.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Well, I wish that you the best with that. That sounds like an awesome thing. Like starting your own business just feels there's so much passion that goes into something like, where you're in charge.
oh yeah, yeah, feels good. Scary but good.
Scary but good. What's bringing you the most peace right now in your life?
I think just in case she listens to this, I've got to say a certain answer here, but it's definitely my girlfriend.
Okay.
Uh,
What beyond your girlfriend brings you peace?
like I can't use her as an answer.
You can. I'm just I
Uh,
agree. Michaela brings
okay.
me peace. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, like as you just like an individual without like Ellie being the answer. Is there like what's the second answer? What would bring? I guess that's a great answer. Honestly, we could leave it there.
Yeah.
But I,
Yeah.
reason I wanted to get a different answer out of you is my friend Emily. She said the ocean. She lived
Mm,
away from the ocean for a long time, and now she just moved back nearby the ocean. And she said it
mhm.
brings her the most peace right now. And I was like, that is such a good answer because in Nebraska, I love to loiter, but I can't just go over to the public park and whip out my lawn chair and drink a beer. But I can go to the beach and sit there all
Yep.
day and watch the sunset, and it really does bring me peace. I think
Hmm.
it was a good answer. But your girlfriend, that's fine. That's a good
That's
answer.
fine. No, I'll give you another one. I will say not to beat a dead horse, but working out. Not trying to be like, oh, I'm this fit guy, but working out is a huge endorphin rush, dopamine fix, and if I'm having a bad day and I go work out, my day is just a little bit better at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went on a mile long run the other day. I haven't ran in forever, dude. And
Yeah.
yeah, you get this little runner's high, and it gives you.
Oh yeah.
When you're done, you're just you're accomplished feeling that you get.
Yeah.
It's a,
Isn't that the best, bro? It's
yeah,
good.
yeah, it was good. I was. It's been a while, so I was like, I started getting like my lungs were. I couldn't breathe when I was running. I couldn't breathe in all the oxygen I wanted to. I was like, do I have asthma right now? I just think it just
Right?
I hadn't ran in so long, and
Yeah.
I was like coughing when I got home a little bit, but that
Oof.
went away. It's just I got to
Yeah.
get back in it. I got Strava, the app, and I was like,
I
I got to do it.
yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's a big one too. Just follow people on Strava, and that itself is enough motivation. Because I mean, at least for me, it was because the second I got Strava and started following people, I'm like subconsciously always thinking, okay, they're gonna be watching every day if I do my run or not and how good I do.
I saw
So
this.
it's like,
Yeah, dude. I saw this app, kind of like Strava.
mhm.
But it's like, you ever played Paper IO?
Yeah,
It's like that, but it's like instead of um, playing it on your phone, it's like Pokemon Go almost. It tracks your run, and then
yeah,
you fill in a circle, and then you own that territory. And
yeah,
if somebody runs through that territory, it becomes theirs, and it's like a game. And I was like, that's the app I really want. But Strava's where everybody's at, and you
hmm
got to pay a subscription, I think, with that. Uh,
um,
I know it's like $10, $50 a month to play the game.
dude,
I know.
what?
I was like, you're kidding me. Just make a version with some ads.
Yeah, yeah, there we go.
But yeah, man, it's running, working out. That is a great answer for what's bringing you the most peace right now. I like it.
Hmm.
Jumping in the ocean, and doing a cold plunge after being like really tired or groggy or hungover. That's
Yeah,
another one that I feel like brings me peace. In the
yeah,
moment, you're like freezing, but once you get out, you feel so refreshed. It's like a
yeah.
so
It's like a wake up slap.
yeah, yeah. And another thing, I guess, for me, bringing me peace right now is just having a stable job and a stable place to live.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
because I feel like I haven't had that for whatever time.
yeah,
Australia was like I had a place to live, but I didn't.
yeah.
Is there anything I should have asked you today that I forgot or should mention, or is there something you've been wanting to share that we didn't hit on?
No, no, but I wanted to ask you because I don't know where are you at right now?
Yeah, man. So I moved to Costa Mesa, California.
Okay.
It's border town to Newport Beach,
Okay.
California. If you look on
Oh,
the map, it's like there's this little peninsula. It's called the Balboa Peninsula or something, and it's a beautiful little spot. My buddy Eddie from Nebraska moved out here in 2021,
mm-hmm.
and our friend Aaron, he's 2 years older than I am, uh, and Eddie's 2 years younger than I am. But Aaron
Okay.
lived out here working for a company called Ferguson Plumbing. He's like a
Okay.
sales rep, and he lived
Mm-hmm.
in an apartment. Me and Eddie came and visited here for this was right before I moved out for spring of 2020 to go back to the kitchen.
Okay.
Me and Eddie visited Aaron's apartment, and Eddie's like, "I want to move here," and I was like, "Do it." And I was moving to Hawaii or whatever. So he
Mm-hmm.
like went back to Nebraska and gathered himself and did whatever job he was doing, and within no time he was moving into Aaron's apartment complex, and he was sleeping on the couch there. After about 3 months of them living there together, they decided it's it was like a studio. They're like, this is too
Mm-hmm.
tight of corridors. And Eddie went on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and found the house I'm currently sitting at. Uh, and it was listed. I guess they moved in. There was some old guy who was super dirty and messy, like had fast food bags just laying on his bedroom floor, like just some old guy. And they wanted him
Mm-hmm.
kicked out. But they moved into this house. It has a view of the ocean. I'm in the middle of what I'd call suburbia. A lot of like strip malls and fast food joints and gas stations around. But luckily, my
Okay.
backyard is like a canyon drop off. And so there's no
Ooh.
house behind me. And it goes down like 200 feet steep. And there's mountain bike trails down there, birds, a creek. And from what I can see, straight out is the ocean within like 2 miles. And there's like the PCH is down there. I can see cars driving by. And then in the very, very far distance, past like there's the ocean right next to it. And in the very far distance in the ocean is this Catalina Island that we were talking about where Matt
Yeah.
eventually might work. And so I have a beautiful view. My rent here is cheaper than what it cost would have costed me to move back to Nebraska. Originally, when I left Australia, Michaela was going to go to Colorado, and I was going to move to Nebraska, and we were going to do distance for a couple months.
Yeah.
My buddy said that, like out here, Eddie, he said a
Mm-hmm.
room opened up, and the amount I pay in rent is three digits. And for out
Jeez.
here, most people are paying like 1,500, 1,800 for a bedroom in an apartment. And I'm at a
Yeah.
house and I'm paying
That's
like ridiculously affordable rent. I have two roommates. We have a backyard with a lawn. It's turfed in, don't even have to mow it. Um,
what?
and yeah, I can see the ocean. And if I was to move back to Nebraska, I'd be paying at least $1,000 for my own bedroom in an apartment or in a house. I don't know. Maybe it could be a very similar price to what I'm paying here. But the
Yeah.
weather here is just magnificent.
Oh
And
yeah.
there was a blizzard like 2 weeks ago in Nebraska, and I didn't. I can go to the ocean. My favorite thing to do is loiter at the ocean. So you know, that's what I kind of been up to uh, in my current situation. But like I said, I was in Australia for the last 6 months, and
Yeah.
prior to that, I was in Nebraska bartending at Funplex, the water park, uh, at the swim up bar.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it's been a real hoot.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Now you're living large.
Now I'm living large. I got a job. My first week here was like I was just job hunting and nobody was hiring. It was ridiculous. I was
Yeah.
like, I went to every golf course. I went to every bit like sales position job, and then
Mm-hmm.
I applied to all these websites online, probably like 200 applications at that point. I'd like got
Yeah.
it the process down to a T, and nobody was hiring. I was at Home Depot and Ace Hardware. I was like, "Are you guys hiring?" And they're like, "Yeah, not right now." I was like, "What?" And then I was
Dude.
just thrifting at the thrift store at Goodwill, and I was like, in Salvation Army, I was like, do you guys happen to hire right now? And they're like, oh, not right now. We're actually letting people go. And I'm like,
Oh,
what?
shit.
And then, dude, it got to the point where I was like yelling at mowing cars, like trucks driving by, the mowing companies. And I was like, are you
Yeah.
guys hiring? And they're like,
What?
no. And I'm like, man, this job market sucks. But
Dude.
I got the advice to some of my my roommate's friends, they were all like, we used to do valet and it pays really well. You should just. So I went to I rode a bike down to all the valet restaurants that with valets, and I just dropped my application off, and I probably applied at 20 valet places that day,
Mm-hmm.
and one got back to me, and uh, ideally I wanted a traditional like Monday to Friday work week.
Mm-hmm.
The valet thing can kind of last to midnight some nights, and a lot of
Okay.
weekends. Like this week, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just kind of bad hours, but great pay. I opened the door for this guy the other day for his wife, and
Yeah.
he gave me $40. And I was like, oh, sir, you just pay at the end once you're done. He's like, oh, no, no, this is your tip. So he paid at the end, and I made $40 just from that guy alone, and that happens all the time. So really,
Heck
really
yeah.
great pay for valet. So I'm gonna stick that out. And this morning, golf course people called me back and wanted to interview, so I went in there, and I think I got the job. They offered me the job, and I was like, sure. And it's like 7 a.m. to 3 greenskeeping every morning at Big Canyon Country Club, and they want me to fill out
Dang.
that paperwork. So I got to talk to the valet company and kind of just square up my time off to work the other job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get overworked though. I don't want to overwork myself. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
greenskeeper position, they're like, yeah, once October comes around, we're gonna have you work every other weekend, each Saturday and Sunday, 4 hours each day. And but you also get Thursday off, and then but you still got to work 7 to 3 Monday through Thursday, and then every other weekend you have to swap. And I'm like, October comes around, I don't know what I'll be doing, dude, but I'll fucking work with whatever I can do right now to make
Yeah.
ends meet. And Michaela wants to potentially move out here come August, or
Mm-hmm.
we might move to an East Coast warm state.
Yeah.
So really everything's up in the air, but for right now, I mean, pretty content.
Yeah.
What brings
Sounds
me the
pretty
most
nice.
peace is being stable and having a job. So I got kind of like two jobs going. I also kind of have a gig with this guy at OC Talk Radio. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
podcast studio, and he says if I sell ads, I get 50% commission, and if I create new shows with new clients
Mm-hmm.
from the Orange County area, he'll give me 10% commission as long as that show stays afloat.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I haven't got any ads or sales with that yet, but we're trying.
Yeah, that'll come.
That was like more of a I don't have a job, and he offered me something, so I think I'm gonna continue that and treat it as if it's a real job. But I do got to pay bills, so I've been focusing more on what's actually making money.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, that's what's the stability of all that. I think to go back to that peace question, that is bringing me so much peace right now because I was stressing about getting a job.
Yeah,
I
I
had like
bet, dude.
$300 in my bank account after paying my second month rent here and not having a
Dude.
paycheck since January 8th. So that was
Yeah.
like crazy. But these tips are coming in. I get cash at the end of the night. I can easily pay the next 2 months off of rent already. So
Mm-hmm. Dang.
yeah, I'm stable. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Finding a job, that ain't no fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the gas prices, dude. Oh, speaking of the devil, my gas tank light is on. I remember that when I got home this morning.
Uh-oh.
I remember that before I got to go to
God,
work at I got to go to work at 3 today or something. So
your your gas tank light?
yeah, like I have low gas. I need to fill up.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking like a check engine light, but for your gas tank. I'm like, dang, how fancy of a car are you driving?
dude, I have a Ford Ranger and it has crank windows. It's just like my
Hell,
Mazda B3000 the little red wagon, but it's white.
yeah, dude. Is it stick?
It's not stick. It's a
Oh,
2011. My
oh,
buddy,
okay.
he's a cop and he got a K9 unit and he couldn't park it in his driveway anymore and it was having issues. So he sold me his Ford Ranger. I bought a topper on the back. When
Dude.
I got it all fixed up at the mechanic, it had like a pinion seal leak or whatever. And
Okay.
I had that all done while I was in Australia. So the day I landed in Nebraska, I could just hop in and start driving.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ford Ranger, that was my first car.
Yeah, heck yeah. Dude,
Things that you,
it's my favorite.
yeah.
And I got it. Like I kind of like had my I could have got any car and drove it all the way from Nebraska to here, but man, I bought it there for probably put in 7K for to own the vehicle, and out here it's worth like 14K, just the same exact
Mm.
vehicle as is. So I thought about
Dang.
selling it when I was down low, but no, dude, I got to keep on. I got to hold on to that thing. I built a bed out in the back. I camped in Utah on my drive here. I stayed in my girlfriend's place in Denver the night before that, and man, it's
Dang.
cozy. I really
Oh,
really fit it out.
heck yeah, dude. Sweet.
Yeah, man. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think that might be a wrap on this episode of Bring Your Own Lawn Chair.
Right on.
Right on. Well, dude, thanks for being a guest on today's show, and if you have your business, your personal trainer business, if it as it pops off and grows, and as my podcast pops off and grows,
Mhm.
you can you can definitely advertise with me. I'm not even going to charge you. Like I'm not, you've created this for me. Like you made me grow. So if anything, if I grow, we're growing together.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, same to you, dude.
Thanks,
If you
man.
want workout plans or something, let me know.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, it helps. It helps having like a little routine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
But
man.
yeah, dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was good catching up with you.